What's up, everybody? So this is post-market analysis, May 3rd, 2022. So the market pushed down from my last video this morning, pushed down some, came into this zone here in the 32,872 to 32,962 range, and then pushed back up, came back up and retested this zone. So I got into an entry actually after the last video. Right in here, I got in. I didn't trail my stops this time, so I got stopped out. But I got back in, did some zigzagging, and at the end of the day, I made it a profitable day. But basically, I got stopped out, and then when it came, I had actually a pending order here, 33,200, with a stop at 33,300, so that got taken out. And then I got back in around the 33,300 area, roughly. I think it was around here, got back in and rode it back down to here, did some trailing stops, and ended up turning it into a profitable day. But as far as market outlook, next week we got major, or next week, tomorrow we got major news. We have non-farm employment change, also FOMC press conference. Expect an announcement regarding the interest rate, potentially even raising the interest rate is what's looking like it's going to happen tomorrow. So keep an eye out. I may or may not trade tomorrow. I'll see, depending how things are looking for London session. At times I feel like that I stay out of the market because of fundamental news. It seems that the market will move in the direction that the technicals were implying anyway. So I'm going to see if I see a good, clean setup. Then I'll get in. Regardless of the news, I'll just kind of taper back my lot size. But definitely still bearish here, without a doubt. I was kind of resting here. This is on the weekly so far, so we're kind of just resting on the support here of 32,858 roughly to 33,000 roughly. On the daily, this candle did push up all the way into the zone as we saw in the lower time frames, but it's now pushing back down. It's showing exhausted. I mean, it's closing in the next hour and 26 minutes. This candle, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say anything could happen, but it's probably going to close pretty exhausted. If so, I'm going to be expecting a continuation of the push downward, and I think the news tomorrow may just accelerate that push downward. So, with that in mind, still keeping this fib from a few days ago, still hasn't really broke the 38.2, but now it's kind of just hovering around here. So unless it does a clean break above this, I'm going to leave this for now. I'm anticipating price to push down. So we're going to see what happens in Asian session and throughout London session, early parts of London session. I'm going to do my best to get up and get in front of the charts by about 4 a.m. So doing my best here. But I anticipate price probably for Asian session will probably range. I think we'll probably hang out in here, and then we'll see in London session a push down. So I'm going to see if price comes back up into this area during early London session and starts showing signs of exhaustion, big wicks on the lower time frame. Same exhaustion. Maybe even an indication of a reversal with a strong engulfing on the lower time frame. So looking for conditions of this nature, later on. Will be tomorrow by that point, obviously, but a few hours from now, really, 10, 12 hours from now is what we'll be looking at. So we'll see. I'm anticipating price will probably respect this area here of resistance around 33,200 to 33,400 roughly. I anticipate it will respect this. If it breaks above it, then we'll see. And then with news and everything going on tomorrow, we'll see what happens there. But I anticipate price will respect this, kind of hovering here tonight during Asian session and early London. And then I anticipate that it will be a push continuing down. All this is showing exhaustion on the H4 very clearly. On the daily is showing exhaustion still as well. Definitely the momentum is bearish. I mean, there's nothing that I would see here that'll be a case for bullish. You could try to ride a little push back up, if anything, but I'd rather wait for a push back up and then continue riding the overall trend downward, which definitely is bearish as far as I can see here. So that's the H4. Same thing. Thing is just kind of just waiting to just kind of push down here. You know, it's kind of hovering a little bit because there's indecision related to news coming out tomorrow and so forth. So a lot of this, you know, is just representative of indecision, price moving back and forth because we don't really know what's going to happen, and everybody's kind of waiting a little bit. So we got little moves, but you know, none of these real big moves here today. For the most part, had this push up yesterday. You know, it was a good little move today, a few hundred points, but you know, I anticipate that this will kind of just hover, hang around here, as I said, until early hour mornings here Eastern time. So with that, I will catch you guys in the morning pre New York session tomorrow, and have a good night.